Lauren, hi Lauren. I'm sorry if this has been already covered, but is it possible to schedule a task with an expected date for completion?
So yes and no. And what I mean by that, if you go to the scheduled task specifically, and you are creating, I'm just going to go in and filter by my active right here. If I'm going to put in, let's say this is an annual inspection, okay? That's just the one I just built right now. There is no way to put a preset date, but if you think about it from the workflow perspective, I can put in that this is to be completed by and put in the date, right? You know, could be, September 2023, whatever the date would be, dot, dot, dot. And then when that triggers, you can see the completed by date. Now, in some cases, it has to be delayed. A task will be delayed because maybe this is done by a fire marshal, and then you could delay the task to trigger on the date that it's supposed to be done. And that's more of a workflow than specifically your preventative maintenance task. So my suggestion would be at this time to put in specifically the date it's supposed to be completed by. Because remember, this is your due diligence built into the preventative maintenance task.
Thank you. Ryan asks, can a number of days exceed 365? For example, a 5-year PM, for example, every 1,825 days. He gives an example of an elevator testing 5-year period, or a generator PM, or any wet sprinkler inspection. How can you do that? And can you do that?
So you can do it with some adjustments that are necessary. And what that means is when you are scheduling a preventative maintenance task that's going to happen in the future more than 365 days, you will set it up as a one-time preventative maintenance task. And then you will have to put into notes to go back and adjust it for 5 years again. So as an example, if I go here and I'm going to set this out to 2028, okay, and it's going to be April 2nd, 2028. That's when it's going to trigger, whether it's 5 years or 10 years or 3 years or 2 years. And in my notes, I'm going to have to put in the instructional information to reset it to the next 5 years once that task triggers.
Thank you, Susan. Carrie asks, hi Carrie, can you attach an Excel spreadsheet with checklist that needs to be filled out?
So it
I think you
depends
showed
on the
that.
checklist.
Yeah.
So if we
Yes.
think about it, yeah, you can link to a drive where the checklist is attached, and you can attach the URL link to the actual preventative maintenance, which we went over. You can also attach a Excel spreadsheet as a document, but it's not going to be something that's real time. And if you want to know more about how and what you can do, I would again suggest that you reach out to customer support and we can talk about all of the different variations when it comes to checklists and forms that can be incorporated within maintenance care.
Thank you, Susan. A couple of people have asked, including Shelley, and I think my others also. Hi, Shelley. Will Susan show us how to add a URL or a document to the task, and more in details, please? I think if we can repeat it, maybe.
Sure, absolutely. It's not difficult to do. It's pretty easy. You're going to go to the other section here, and that's where the document URL resides. You have to have a link to share, obviously. The most common links are something that goes to where something might reside, like a SharePoint drive or a Google Drive. And you can always pull that link from there, and all you have to do is just copy and paste it here. What will happen then is when the task does trigger with that link, it will show up in the work order. Sorry, I'm just going to see if there's one here. There might be one here. It will show up here as an external URL link here. So you do have to reference it, just like I mentioned before when you're building your PM. reference the green URL. And you might want to put that into your notes and also put it in your comments. It's up to you, but you want them to reference it. And then when they click on that link, it's going to take them to where the document resides, which can be updated. Again, it could
All
be a
right.
document, it could be a user manual, it could be anything.